to Jelly Trumpet! What if Part 2? Why didn't you get on the plane, Sharon?
Tony, stop this stuff about Sharon.
Well, that was easier than I thought.
The receptionist was most helpful.
Yes, we asked a question and she answered. There's Marco.
No torture needed at all. Where?
On the terrace, sitting at the last table on the left, sipping on an espresso.
Great.
Now what?
We take him by surprise.
And?
And?
I'm thinking.
I can see that by the steam evaporating off the top of your head.
I know, we asked Marco where Nigel is.
Brilliant.
Okay, let's go.
Interview countdown!
Welcome to Jelly Trumpet. Our guest on this episode is James McCabe from Sketchhouse. Do look them up. They're on the web. They've got their own website. Sketchhouse produces bespoke sketch comedy videos for business, and James is a copywriter. Is that correct?
That's right.
That's right. Okay, James, let's go with our 12 questions in 12 minutes. So first of all, what is your business?
All right. What is my business? My business is a company called Sketchhouse, as you just said. I run it with my business partner, Mike Sengelo, and we create bespoke sketch comedy videos for PR and event companies and advertising agencies generally, and direct business clients. So we create professional quality video for any organization that wants to kind of rise above the noise that you'll find on all these various channels like LinkedIn and YouTube and all the rest of it. And we just create what we think is more engaging content for them, particularly if it's an event company, more kind of engaging content for them, for their in-house training. So they're not ads per se, but what we call it is sponsored comedy that's shareable. So it's kind of almost like a Trojan horse. It is kind of advertising content, but it looks like shareable comedy content. So it sneaks in under the radar.
Cool. That sounds very interesting. I've seen your work. It is very high quality. Now, question 2. This is one of my favourite questions. Who is your creative hero or heroine?
Right. Well, I'd say my creative hero goes back to the 1980s for me. It was a man called Keith Johnston who wrote a book called Impro. It kind of changed my life when I read it back then. It's a book that was designed for acting and improvisation, but I've used it in all my creative work, whether it be writing or performing, because it's all about the idea of always saying yes and being present in what you're doing and not blocking who you're working with, not having to be the cleverest person in the room, being open to adventure. It basically teaches you how to be spontaneous. And I've used it as my Bible for my whole career.
Cool. I know the book. I think we'll pick up on that conversation in the bonus episode. Now, this is one, because you're a creative chap, how do you start a project?
Right. Yes. So with Sketchhouse, we're kind of straight in with the money. It's like we need to get a rough idea of the ad spend the client has, get a ballpark fee, and that's how we can start planning our production budget from when we understand how much they basically got in their spend. So after that, of course, it's the brief. We develop a brief with the client, what they want to get out of the project. Get a sense of the company, their goals, what they're trying to do, what problems they're trying to solve. And then we get into the fun bit, which is the concepting, the actual writing of the content. So we develop some sketch ideas and concepts, and we run those past our client initially, see which ones they bite for, and then choose the one that they like best. And from there, we develop the full script.
Cool, which leads us on to the next question very neatly. I've written this well, haven't I? To what degree do you map out each project?
Well, being as the sketches are film productions, the planning needs to be, note perfect right down to the last detail. So the script needs to be signed off by the client before we shoot. And then there'll be a production meeting with the film company we use. make sure that the DOP can plan his approach, and he'll create a shot script from that. And we'll also plan lights and sound and all these elements. And we also have to plan around a location, which has all sorts of logistics to go with that. And then, of course, there's casting the actors and rehearsing the script and the run up to the shoot.
Cool. Well, you've answered that one quite succinctly, James. Thank you for that. We can now move on. How? Well, you're going to probably answer this one quite succinctly. This is question 5. How do you know when the project is finished?
Yes. Well, it's once the post-production is done, basically, when it's in the can, and then we'll have Mike, my business partner, working in the edit suite with the DOP, and they'll try and get the clip as tight as it can be, and obviously as funny as it can be, and that is all done in the edit, because that's where all that, as you'll know, the timing is in the edit. And then that edit is sent to the client for approval. And they often, or they may ask for changes, and we'll accommodate those. And when they're happy and the client's happy, they get their sketch delivered, and then they set it free into the wilds and use it in whichever way that they want. Cool.
So it's a very well-defined process that you have for Sketch House.
Yeah, we pretty much stick to it.
Cool. So this one is more about your own creativity. What's the best thing someone has said to you that kept you going when it was a struggle?
Yeah, quite recently, actually, the beginnings of Mike and my working and doing comedy sketches together. I say recently, about 7 years ago, we put together a show which we called The Fro Show, which is the genesis of Sketch House, really. So it was a live show. We took a punt with it. We didn't really know whether we'd have an audience for it. It was performed locally. We didn't know it would be paying its way or not, but we went ahead with it, finding actors, writing scripts. We booked the venue, and about 2 weeks before opening night, a couple of key cast members fell out of the show for various reasons, and we were thinking, we've lost the show, we've invested our money, and we were very downcast. We thought we were going to be sunk before we'd even started. But our musical director, who's a terrific bloke called Paul Wheeler, he said, look, you could pull the pin if you want, you could cut your losses and walk away, and that's that. But he said, I'll never forget it. He said, but I think you have a show. And he said, I think you can do it. And it's just one of those moments like out of a Hollywood movie. And it was like, yeah, we're all kind of...
we can do the show right here. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah,
lovely. It's really valuable when you have people just say, well, just do it. Let's get on with it. So this next question is really about your creative side, about, are you honest with yourself?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. To the best of my ability, I suppose, but... I'd also say I'm quite good at deluding myself and telling myself stories. And the problem is, if you're good at that, you can think you're being honest with yourself, but you're not actually. So that's the honest truth.
Cool. Wow, that's good. I like to be honest. I'm not sure I always am, but I'm not that deluded. So this again is about your creative self. What's the proudest you've been of one of your ideas?
Well, I'm not sure I can think of a particular example, but I don't know if I even have a lot of time to be proud of ideas, because I'm always looking for the next one. I'm always going on to the next thing. But I love the feeling, and you probably feel the same when you hit on a good idea, just that buzz, kind of dopamine kind of hit that you get when you find a good idea and it's a good idea. And it sort of zings all over the place, all the different possibilities of it. And sometimes that's closely followed by logistical problems, and you think, oh, hang on, actually no, that's not going to work. And the kind of the spiraling down effect.
Yeah.
But then it's like surfing, you're waiting for the next wave, and there'll be another one along in a minute.
So you get off on the buzz is really what you're saying there.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your next project?
Well, at the moment, it looks like Sketch House's next project is to develop a series of sketches for an industrial pump company. And you might think that it sounds like a terrible assignment, but actually, I always find some of the most kind of everyday strange things like that can be some of the most promising for comedy and laughs. The most ordinary and straightforward things can have the best comedy.
I agree with you. Simple is the best. I tend to overcomplicate things, which I think a lot of creative people do. So this one is question 10. Should creativity be taught as a skill in school?
I think that's a good question. And I think absolutely yes. I think it's basically teaching people how to think, really, and how to reason, how to discern ideas, how to problem solve. And these are all very transferable skills that you can, build into your life, no matter what career kids choose. I think creativity is such a great tool. And they learn how to be collaborative, how to work in a team. I learned drama as a kid, and I'm still using those skills, every day, the lifelong skills.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of teaching creativity to children, and also, what's the other word? Knowledge. Knowledge is one part of it, but also wisdom. That's what I wanted to say. Why can't we teach wisdom? So if a 10-year-old came up to you and asked you, what one thing would make me more creative, what would you reply?
Well, with that one to sound pithy, I would say learning a musical instrument is a good place to start. Okay. Simply because, again, a bit like with teaching creativity, with musical ability or having an instrument, there are transferable skills there too, I think. And especially if you get a good music teacher, because I think you get a mentor. And when you get a mentor, that's someone that will help you to be creative and help you to develop your creativity in a way that you can't always do it on your own. So that's why I picked the example of a musical instrument, because it comes with a teacher or a mentor or someone who can guide your creativity.
That's really interesting. I've not heard an answer like that before. I think our listeners are going to pick up on that one. So because you've been so good with keeping under time for each question, we'll ask you the last of the 12, and then we're going to go on to the bonus question, which you've unlocked. So how can a listener get in touch with you?
Okay, best thing, I guess, is to email Sketchhouse, which is the email address is funnybones@sketchhouse.net. Or you could phone us on 07792 914 037.
Cool. Right. Excellent. So you've unlocked the bonus question, James, and your bonus
Pandora's box.
You've opened. It's full of hope. It's all full of hope. So this question is one of my favourites, and it is: what's something no one knows about you?
Okay. I auditioned for Lord of the Rings, believe it or not, back in 1997. Wow. I auditioned to be an elf. Yeah. I can't remember the character's name, but I was very excited about it. But unfortunately, I don't know if they gave me the part or not, because I left New Zealand a couple of days later and never came back.
So you might have been an elf. My God.
I might have been an elf.
That is a great story to have. One of my favourite movie franchises of all time, and it's coming out on Amazon as well, isn't it? It's a sort of prequel. Yeah. So that's something very exciting. Okay, so we're going to wrap there. So that was James McCabe of Sketchhouse, a bespoke sketch comedy video for business organisation. Thank you very much, James.
Thanks, Jim.
Hello, Marco. Where's Nigel?
Hi, Mr. B. Follow me.
It worked. See?
Tom sack to ship.
Where are we going?
Looks like he's taking us up to the castle.
Perhaps we should go back.
Without Nigel?
Oh, right, yes. We have to find Nigel.
Oh, the castle reminds me of my own Chateau de Roudel.
Golly, what was that?
That was Marco ringing the doorbell to the castle barbican.
Neat.
Welcome to the Tiger's Nest. Thank you, Marco. You can go now.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Bonjour.
I am Prince Susan. Follow me.
Did he say Prince Susan?
Yes, I think perhaps the prince is a non-binary prince.
Oh, okay.
C-Mac, run tape.
Challenge Jim!
Each episode, we challenge Jim with a creative exercise.
I am ready.
The challenge this episode is to come up with as many what-ifs as possible in 1 minute.
What ifs?
Go, come on!
What if we had a rota for Prime Minister? We will take a turn. What if people took their rubbish home and then we could walk through nice, clean streets?
What if we had a decent script?
And what if we had a decent script? How dare you? What if all social media networks lasted for 1 day only? What would you do with yourself? You know, there are things called books out there. What if we all said yes once more than normal during the day? So you never know what you'll be accepting, but you've said yes for a change. What if we placed all the streets... No, what if we planted all the streets with fruit trees?
Or coffee.
Or coffee. Oh, that's even better, isn't it? What if we planted coffee trees all the way down
15
Watford
seconds.
High Street? What if we made wisdom a subject at school? You know,
Ooh,
people
like that.
come out wiser. What if coffee gave me the power of flight?
5, 4,
Mr. B,
3,
I'm flying. I could see your house from here.
Tony's word of the episode. Tony's word of the episode. Tony's word of the episode. Gutania. Gutania.
Thank you, Tony. The definition of which is a country in the Balkans.
Are you sure, Jim?
Yes, I am. It's a real place, you know.
We have to drop this feature, Jim. It's rubbish.
Tony's word of the episode. Tony's word of the episode.
Excuse me, Prince Susan, but we're looking for our friend Nigel. This high, fluffy tail, constantly nibbling his nuts.
All in good time, good sir. First, I'll show you round the tiger's nest.
What is it you do here, Prince Susan?
Many things. Many things.
This looks like a...
If you'd like to wait here, in the waiting room.
Okay.
Merde.
Well, that's mould, ma'am.
I don't like this.
Well, it's a bit cold for a waiting room, and it could do with a window or two.
It's a dungeon, Jim.
Are you sure?
Very sure, Jim. The chains hanging from the ceiling, the lack of windows, the damp running down the walls. Oh, and that bloke tied to that rack moaning softly into his chest.
Well, it could be one of those hardcore gyms.
Two et une tarte à la crème anglaise.
Let's have a coffee.
Oh, Your Majesty. Oh, good idea.
Lucky that Prince Susan missed CMAC. Here we go, a perfect latte. Anything for you, Your Majesty?
Oui. CMAC is equipped with many accessories, is he not? Something like a lock-picking device, perhaps?
Oh, yes, he has a lock-picking device. Lovely. Do you like the hint of Cafe Nero, Mr. Jim?
Oh, I do.
We are not staying here, trapped like rats, enjoying coffee. Get moving and pick the lock.
I think you should, Mr. B.
My coffee will get cold.
I think you really should, Mr. B. She's fuming.
Move!
Okay, engaging lock-picking device.
You've blown the ruddy door off.
Sorry, wrong button. Sorry about that.
We didn't get travel insurance, you know, Mr. B.
It's only a door, Jim. Shh.
But it's not our door, Mr. B. I mean, it's not very polite to blow the ruddy door off.
It won't happen again.
We're leaving.
Oh, good. I think at the very least we should leave a note. You know, explaining the accident, offering to pay for a new door.
Good idea. CMAC, a pen.
No, let's not use CMAC for the note. I happen to have a notebook and a pen.
Oh, come on, boys.
Dear Prince Susan, sorry about the door. We had a small accident with our coffee machine's laser. We will, of course, be happy to make recompense.
Oh.
What, Mr. B?
The door wasn't locked.
Boys, we're here to rescue Nigel.
Quite. After you, Your Majesty.
Oh, merci, monsieur.
Well, I suppose we find Nigel, get back to the podcast and travel back to St Albans then.
What has happened here?
I do apologise, Prince Susan. Used the wrong button on the coffee machine.
Coffee machine?
Yes.
It won't happen again.
Very well. Follow me. Tales from Jim's Medicine Journal.
Getting stuck happens to us all. This big rock suddenly appears. We can't go round it and we can't go over it. What do you do now?
Well, there's never a solution that will work every time. That's why you keep a medicine journal, so you can collect the ideas that work. When you use a medicine journal, you are recording your creative activity. What works for you? Tools and tips that you build up so you have your own coach, because only you can make yourself more creative. Yes, you can read books, watch videos and attend workshops, and all these will give you some tools, but only you know you, and only you can explore the depths of your imagination. So there you are with a great big rock in your path, a block. Going over it would only leave behind something that will have to be dealt with at a later date, and going round it is the same. That rock represents something, possibly a long-term doubt, so sit with it. Sit with it for a defined amount of time and worry the doubt like a dog with a bone. What works for me when I'm faced with a rock in my writing path is the following. Going for a walk, talking to friends, changing the music, leaving the rock alone for a few days, laughing at myself. Once I had a massive boulder when halfway through writing a play, the last in a trilogy. All the above resulted in nothing. It took weeks, and I was only writing on Saturday mornings. After weeks of nothing working, I'm stubborn, you see, I found out something simple that is, I hope, of use to you. I was asking the wrong question. The boulder was caused by focusing on a technical aspect to do with multiple characters and a plank of wood. When I changed the question to, how do I make this as funny as I can? Then the energy changed, the imagination was engaged, and the technical aspect lost importance. Takeaway, when you are stuck, are you asking the wrong question?
This is the Great Hall, 13th century. Some of the weapons on display date to this time. Those sabres, though, are late 18th century.
Who owns this place?
Is it a king or a queen?
Have you seen Nigel?
All in good time, folks.
Excellent swords. Impressive.
I like what you've done with the place.
Well, that's a lot of flags.
They are for the ceremony.
Oh, what ceremony would that be?
On our left is the old banqueting hall. Now we call it the fruit room,
And why is it called that?
because that's where we keep the fruit.
Why so many small chairs?
There will be a children's party later. As we go up the stairs, you will see the floor pattern in the hallway.
Oh, I see it. The floor tiles make out a giant oak tree.
Oh, look, Bee, in the tree!
It's Nigel!
Now the start-up micro sitcom. I miss Sharon. Our micro sitcom, The Startup Part 2. Mary the entrepreneur is visiting a branding clairvoyant and visionary.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot. Oh, I can't quite sit up. I'm trapped. The beanbag chair is like quicksand.
Your destiny is to rule the kingdoms of commerce.
Tell me more.
I see more.
Yes?
I see the brand. I see the logo. The colours purple.
Pink.
Yes, pink. A B&M sitting on a crown of thorns.
Thorns?
No, not thorns, horns. Horns of plenty. Mother Courage wearing a crown of horns with B&M emblazoned in pink.
Oh, I see it too. Thank you.
I'll show you out. Gwenzilla must rest now. Brace yourself. I'll pull you off.
Oh, that would be lovely. I mean, what now?
Well, how about signing up to our exclusive second site How to Use the Visions in Digital Marketing course?
Sounds terrific.
Yes, and only £900.
And 50 with a free tarot reading.
What? Where do I sign?
The king of giant squirrels, Rex Scry, is the national animal of Gutania. The people gather every 1st of May to see him eat the first nuts of the season.
I'm a bit lost, Mr. B. What could this mean?
Is Nigel the king of the squirrels?
Perhaps he'll want to stay here amongst his people.
No, he loves the podcast.
On this floor, we have some of our major departments. We've had a good harvest this season.
Harvest? What? Wheat? Barley? Apples?
Data, personal data, company data, government data, charity data, anything we can use to make Gutania even more data-rich. Soon, we will have all the data we need.
Blimey.
Well.
Data?
Your Majesty, it's information. Information is power.
Oh, it used to be the sword.
I like to think imagination rules the world.
You old romantic, you.
What are all these people doing, Prince Susan?
A variety of teams, a variety of tasks, all to secure the future of Gutania. For instance, Team 7 over there are rolling out conspiracy theories in the UK. Team 9 are creating the next batch of motivating memes that, of course, demotivate and depress anyone scrolling through Instagram.
What is that sound of water?
Our cooling system. We have a significant server farm under the castle and extending into the mountain. Aha! Gregor, looking good.
What does Gregor do?
He looks very healthy.
Gregor is our head of guilt and eating vision. His teams specialise in contradictory nutrition advice, eating fads and body shaming. He came up with the Avo selfie campaign.
I remember that. People taking a selfie with their favourite avocado almost blew up the internet.
And that crew with their baseball caps on backwards?
That's Team 11, digital marketing gurus. You know, download my ebook, 7 Internet Secrets That Will Make You Millions Overnight. Was $435, now only $7.99 for one day only. Every so often we let them out and take pictures of them sitting on somebody else's supercar. They are so funny. Stupid but funny.
What's through that door? The one with the full-length mirror?
That's where we keep our influencers. You may see them later. Come, it is time to meet Kurt, the Chief Disruptor. List of the week!
This week, my prejudices. Number 1, anyone wearing sunglasses indoors without a medical need. Number 2, baseball caps worn backwards. Number 3, anyone who doesn't appreciate Kate Blanchett. Number 4, influencers. Number 5, husky owners who don't own a sled. Number 6, Parisians, because I've met them. Number 7, Californians, because I've met them. Number 8, I shop at Waitrose. Waitrose is not a measure of your worth. Number 9, business coaches, you just need a good friend. Number 10, lifestyle models. Read something. Number 11, anything with parsnips.
Welcome to Gutania.
Nigel!
Nigel!
Oh, my brave boy!
That's interesting. A coffee machine on tape tracks. Coffee everywhere you go. I like it. How much do you want for it?
C-Mac is not for sale.
Nor is Nigel.
I have knitted you a new scarf, my brave boy. Oh, yes, it's knitted from chainmail.
So, you wanted Nigel for your ceremony, to keep the people happy with the king of squirrels eating the first nuts of May.
No.
What?
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 I want your podcast.
Jelly Trumpet?
Jelly Trumpet?
Oh, Nigel.
I knew if we brought Nigel here, you'd follow.
Jelly Trumpet is ours.
You can't have Jelly Trumpet. It's not for sale.
See, my pet, your favourite. Clink, clink.
I'm not buying the podcast. I'm taking it.
But you can't.
That's right, you can't.
Do you remember when you signed up to the podcast network? You had to accept our terms and conditions.
Yes, there were pages and pages. I mean, well, no one reads the terms and conditions.
Page 73. In the event of a podcast becoming popular, we reserve the right to take it over without paying anything at all.
Time out, Mr. B. We have to think of something.
Righto, engaging next segment.
The podcast Jelly Trumpet is now ours. Prince Susan will show you out.
Well, let's talk. Wait, before we go, share a coffee with us. Mr. B, the super latte with extra milk.
What? Oh, right, yeah. Setting C-Mac to super steam.
Your Majesty, take a blade.
Oh, but of course.
Look out, Chief Disruptor. She's got a blade.
And engage steam.
My eyes. The latte. Get her, Prince Susan. I will cut you to ribbons.
I think not, Prince. Nigel, after 3 we ride. 1,
Make for the children's party.
Security.
Engaging C-Mac boost.
2,
We can lose them amongst the children.
Look, Jim, loads of security people. Must be a dozen or more.
3, ride my furry steed.
After them.
What now? There's loads of them.
I should really have redrafted this episode. I mean, sort of playing a podcast.
We can't fight all of them, Jim.
We have to. Then over the balcony, run to Jelly Trumpet, and then...
Then what, Jim?
We become an outlaw podcast, forever roaming time, space and media. But we'll all be free.
I agree, Mr. Jim. Freedom! But what do we do about all these security people?
Good boy, Nigel.
Her Majesty is putting up a terrific fight. She's getting the better of Prince Susan. Look, the security team is getting closer, Jim. What can we do?
Wait, I know. More steam, Mr. B, and then we party. We party like unsupervised children.
What? Okay, setting C-Mac to steam overdrive.
Ready, Mr. B?
Ready, Mr. Jim.
Fire!
This Vermont is deadly.
Oh, that jelly works a treat too. The pies, Mr. B. Use the pies. Your Majesty, time to go.
Very well, Monsieur Jim. Nigel, avance.
My hair.
Aha! Good boy, Nigel. You spit very well.
Everyone, this way. Welcome back, Nigel.
Oh, yes, mon brave boy. Have a brioche. Oh, but don't get any crumbs on your new scarf.
What now, Mr. Jim?
We're outlaws now, Mr. B. Set course for season 3.
Aye, aye, Motom. Setting course for season 3.
Huzzah! Thank you for listening. Thank you for all those that encouraged Jelly Trumpet. Thank you to Mr. Tony for the voice work. Thank you to Miss Claire, the voice of Queen Eleanor and Mary the Entrepreneur. And thank you, Mr. B and Kel. Stay fab.
That was Jelly Trumpet, making you more creative with Jim Kinlock and Mr. B. Sponsored by Conversion Detectives, the creative digital marketing agency. Search Conversion Detectives.
And now an exclusive, the first single of their second album from We Paint Houses, called Maybe.
Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's time to quit or carry on. Maybe I'm in, maybe I'm out. Maybe it's time to sigh, just let it out. Maybe I'm big, or maybe I'm small, or maybe there's nothing. Maybe I'm nothing, said I'm nothing at all. Maybe we're something. Maybe it's too late, maybe I'm too soon. Maybe I speculate as a rule. You gotta let it in, you gotta let me out. Frustration comes and I start to shout. Maybe I'm big, or maybe I'm small.
Some clarification, Mr. B.
Yes, Jim?
Tony's Sharon.
Yes?
Is Tony Sharon a kitten, a fish, or a real lady?
We simply don't know.
Oh,
But we think Sharon's a fish.
Well, stranger things happen on other podcasts.